Lie down, get yourself comfy, and you'll be lying down probably about 5 minutes. And once you get yourself settled, you'll begin with your three cleansing breaths. And just taking a really deep, slow breath in through the nose and then open the mouth with a big sigh through the mouth. And after you've taken those three sighs, of course, take your time with them. There's no rush. Start to let the breath come in and out through the nose only. And we've been working on that full, complete breath. And so to begin with, you're just going to notice right now where your breath is moving easily. And the way that you observe that is when you're breathing in and you're breathing out, what part of the torso has movement in it? You're finding it to be very much in the lower ribs or the middle ribs or the upper rib cage. And right now, right, you're not changing it. You're simply becoming aware of your natural pattern. And then you're also going to notice if it's mostly in the front of the body, the front of the rib cage, or if you're incorporating any breath into the side or into the back of the body. And again, just sticking with your natural breathing. And of course, one thing that we know is that whatever is being observed changes just by the simple fact that it is being observed, right? Going way back to the double slit um, theory in physics. Particles themselves will change by just the act of observation. So your breath will change, but don't put any big intentional manipulation. Just want you to notice how it's moving. And at the end of class, we're going to go into that complete full breath. And in a moment here, I'll tell you begin. I want you to count 1 full minute, how many breaths you're taking in that 1 minute. Okay, so go ahead and begin. and finish counting. So that was 1 full minute. And then lastly, if you'd like to set any type of an intention or focus on something that you want to let go of or invite in for your day, you can do that at this time before we start moving here. Very nice. All right. Keeping your eyes closed or opening them if you prefer to do that. Just hug both of those knees in towards your chest here. Give a nice tight squeeze. You can grab behind your thighs or for a little more of a squeeze, grabbing around the shins. And keep the breath nice and slow as you start to rock a little side to side with the knees. Releasing some of the low back. And then now releasing that grip and just letting the knees roll in a circle. So the arms can come down by the sides, palms are going to face down. If you want a little less challenge, especially on the core, then your circles are quite small. They stay closer in towards the chest. If you're looking for more challenge, make your circles bigger. And then simply reverse it, go the other direction. Awesome. Place both feet down onto the mat. Knees are going to be bent, feet are hip distance apart. And we're just going to go through the little pelvic actions that we were working on, I think 2 weeks ago. So if you can think of your pelvis as being a clock, the belly button is 12 o'clock, the pubic bone is 6 o'clock, and then those two pointy hip bones are 3 and 9 o'clock. You're just going to rock between 12 and 6 o'clock right now. So you're arching the low back, and then you're pressing the low back down to the floor. If you want to incorporate breath with this, you're exhaling as you draw towards 12 o'clock and the low back presses down. You're inhaling as you move towards 6 o'clock and the low back arches. And of course, if it feels too much to incorporate breath and movement now or at any point in time, then just move and breathe. Good. And finding neutral here and then moving between that 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. It's a tiny, tiny movement. Okay. But you're just pressing, going towards one side, pressing that side of the low back down into the floor, and then rolling it on over to the other side between that 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Almost like you're rolling side to side on the low back. This is really nice if you have a lot of stiffness. It's called the sacroiliac joint. So where your sacrum, a triangle shaped bone at the very bottom of the spine, where that connects to your pelvis. Sometimes that place can get really stiff, and this movement in particular is really helpful to open that space up. Good. And then you are starting your clocks, right? So moving from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock back to 12. Nice and slow. And again, if you want to incorporate breath, Okay, as the low back is arching, think 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. You're inhaling, and from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, you're exhaling. And again, if that's too much to think about, too many things at once, don't worry about it, just breathe. Breathe and roll. Good. And of course, you're going to reverse it. So move it on counterclockwise, other direction. Right, so some things that you're looking for as you're going through these circles is, are there places where my circle is a little flat? And if you find that place, then you're going to slow it down as you move through there. Right? It's your body finding some resistance, and you're just going to slow it down so that you learn to incorporate that movement back into that space. Good. Now bring yourself into a neutral position and bring your feet about as wide as your mat. So just a little bit wider than hip distance, and flex the feet. So keep the heels down, lift the toes, lift the balls of the feet. And now windshield wiper your knees side to side. Right, nice and slow. If you want to incorporate breath, you inhale as the knees lift to the middle, and you exhale as the knees drop to the side. And always remembering, if you want that additional stretch, think of the front of the thigh, the hip flexor. Then you take that top knee and you just push it away from the body as the knees drop to the side, and you're going to feel that additional stretch. Awesome. So now the next time that your knees come back to center, you're going to keep them there. Just bring those feet back so that they're hip distance apart. And find that neutral in the pelvis, right? So you're not at 12 o'clock, you're not at 6 o'clock, but you're kind of right in the middle. And then your arms are going to come down by your sides, palms are going to face the floor. And you're just going to move unilateral, so one side back and forth at a time. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. You might keep it here. If it feels okay on your shoulder, you might reach that arm so that it goes up over your head. Maybe the back of your hand touching the floor. And then you're going to exhale, and you're just going to bring the arm back down by your side, by the hip, and then go to the left side. So switching back and forth, knowing that, right, one side might be different than the other. One arm, one shoulder might feel tighter. And maybe that arm doesn't go quite as far as the other, and that's okay. The next time you do your left arm, and bring that back down towards your side. And you're going to start to incorporate both arms together at the same time. So you'll inhale and both of those arms will lift, maybe just towards the ceiling, maybe up over the head. And then as you exhale, both arms are going to come back down. And the next time that the arms do come back down by your side, you'll stop this movement. Good. Then reach your arms out to the side like you're a letter T. So the arms are about level with the shoulders. And then you're going to actually turn your palms up towards the ceiling here and then bend your elbows. Okay. So you kind of look like a field goal. And then you're going to just start to reach your hands up over your head so that maybe your fingertips touch above the head. Maybe they don't, doesn't matter. And then you're going to exhale and you're just going to bring them back to that starting position. Okay, so again, not a huge movement here. Just maybe inhaling, bringing those hands, sliding them on the ground. Maybe they touch above the head, maybe they don't. And then you exhale and you just come back to that field goal position. Yeah, as the hands come up above the head, you might find that the elbows lift a little bit away from the floor. And if you are somebody that the elbows don't lift away from the floor as the hands come above the head, then try to focus on keeping all of the fingers on the floor. Try to focus on keeping the elbows on the floor. Awesome. We're going to do one more. Good. And from here, just roll over onto your right side. Okay, so your knees will be bent. You're going to reach both arms out. This is a nice little chest stretch exercise that we've done a lot in the past. So you're laying on the right side and your palms are touching each other. Right palm is up, left palm is down. And you're just going to start to inhale, slide that left hand up the arm, cross the body, open up. So you're in like a twisted T. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring that hand, bring it around, up over the head, and then back to that starting position. Okay, so you inhale, slide that arm across the chest, open up into a twisted T. Exhale, up over the head, and back to the starting position. Of course, just moving kind of where your body is going to allow movement comfortably. Good. Awesome. Next time that your palms come to touch, stay there. Good. And you're going to come up onto your side now so that you're on your forearm. And as you're on your forearm, you want to look down. Just make sure that your elbow and your shoulder are in alignment with each other. And super important that you're not like sinking down into your shoulder. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to really press down through the forearm. So press the forearm into the floor, come up out of that shoulder. And then your left hand is going to just rest on your legs. Good. As you inhale, reach that left arm up, maybe over the head. As you exhale, bring it back. Okay. Nice and slow. Only reaching, maybe the arm goes up so that its fingertips are pointing to the ceiling. It doesn't have to go over the head. Right? But the core is engaged here. So you're not sinking towards the mat. You're pressing through that forearm. Good. Release this and just roll over onto your hands and knees just to set yourself up to come back into a child's pose. So always just remember when you're in your child's pose, okay, if that floor feels really far away, set yourself up, put yourself on a pillow or a blanket, let the torso rest on something. You can let your head rest on a pillow or a blanket or a block. And sometimes we can give ourselves a little, I call it a self adjustment, right? So a lot of times in these classes in person, I would come by, I would take my hands on the back of your pelvis, and I would just give it a very gentle push of the hips back towards the heels. So a way that you can do that in yourself is to take your hands, which are extended out in front of you on the mat, and push your hands down and forward into the mat. And you're going to feel your hips move just a little bit further back towards your feet. And then take really deep breaths into the back body, the back ribs here. Good. Walk those hands over to the right. So getting a stretch in that left side body. Of course, bring the head with you. And you can push down forward with your left hand to make sure that that left hip is staying back towards your left heel. Breathing into the side rib cage. Bringing yourself back to center. Just walk it on over now. Other side. So hands come over to the left, but you're getting a nice stretch in the side body on the right. That right hand pushes down and forward, keeping the right hip close to the heel. Awesome. Bring yourself back to center. And then from here, you're going to come up over onto your left side. So you can just roll over. And we're going to do that little chest stretch, that twisted T. So knees are bent, palms are touching each other, resting on the left side of the body. And as you inhale, slide that right hand up the arm across the chest, open it up into that twisted T. As you exhale, bring the hand up and around over the head, back to starting position. Good. Your breath, your pace, just inhaling as you slide the arm across. Good. Exhaling as you swoop it around. And this next time that your palms meet, keep them there. Great. And you're going to come up onto that left side here, onto the forearm. So just make sure, I mean, certainly it's important for everybody. This is always something I talk about, but especially if you're having any shoulder discomfort, right? You want to make sure you're pressing down into that forearm so that you don't sink into the shoulder, but the force of the forearm coming down helps to lift you up, right? The left side obliques, the abs, they are also engaged. Right hand comes onto your thighs. As you inhale, reach that right arm up over the body. Then as you exhale, bring it back to center. So pressing down through that left forearm, right arm going up just as far as is good for you today. Right? And you'll notice just like you did on the on your back, when you're doing those arms up over the head unilaterally, right? One side's going to be very different from the other side, and that's okay. It doesn't have to go up very high. Just go to your comfort. Yeah, we're going to do just one more of these. And from here, you will come up to stand. So however you do that most easily, right? You can push yourself up, you can roll like a ball, you can come to your hands and your knees, however you get up the easiest. Beautiful. Alrighty, grab some water if you want. All right. All right, we look good. So we are going to do those half sun salutations. And I'm going to talk a little bit about alignment while we're in there. So they'll be slow, pretty slow. I will say that because we put our head down, right? If you get dizzy at any point in time, you just come to that flat back position or just come all the way back up to stand, either way. All right. So we'll start with our Tadasana, our mountain pose. You will notice you're one of two people. You're someone who probably leans forward, right? When you're standing, you hyperextend your knees. I'm one of these people, so I can demonstrate it very easily, right? My knees are hyperextended. I lean forward, putting a lot of pressure on my back, especially my low back. So if you're one of these people, I want you to shift your weight into your heels a little bit more, almost the point where you feel like you're going to fall backwards, but don't. And then you're going to put a little micro bend in the knees, right? So if you're someone who hyperextends, you're going to feel like your knees are really bent. But it's just a little micro bend, a little softness. You'll bring that belly in, let the tailbone drop down. Okay. If you are somebody who leans back a lot, what you're going to see is that your shoulders are probably hunched forward, right? You've got a little extra roundness in the upper back. Your face is coming forward. Your neck is jutting forward. You want to work on pressing down through the feet, engage the legs, work on lifting from the up through the front of the spine, right? So a lot of you guys take the chair yoga class too. We talk about this always first thing. Lift from the front of the spine. Let the shoulders pull back and down. Broad, proud, broad chest. Good. All right, so you want to be nice and stable. Inhale, reach the arms. Don't let anything else change. Good. Exhale, keep your legs just how they are. Forward fold. Let the head drop. Okay, so in this forward fold, it's the first one. We have not opened up the front back of the legs much at all. So you might feel tight, and that's okay. What I want you to notice is where's the weight on the feet, right?
Is the weight in the front? Is it in the back? Can you make it nice and even between the front and the back? Good. Maintain that. Look forward with that flat back. We call this a half lift. And then you're going to exhale and round the back, drop the head. So the legs stay in the same position this whole time. Press down a lot through the feet. Reach the arms out to the side. Again, that T position. Inhale, unhinge from the hips to come up to stand. Reach the arms over the head. Exhale, take your hands to your heart. Okay, so this whole time, really, my legs are strong and they're staying as is. All the other movement is think from the hips up to the crown of the head. Inhale, reach those arms, press the feet. Exhale, round the back, let the head drop, forward fold. Weight is equal between the front and the back of the feet. Low belly's pulling in. Take your hands to your shins or maybe your thighs, look forward, flat back, half lift. Keep pressing through the feet, keep the quads engaged. Exhale, forward fold, let that head drop. Good. Pretend you're squeezing a block in between your legs. Those of you with a block, and you're always welcome to put one there. Press the feet down a lot. Reach the arms out to the side. It's called reverse swan dive. Inhale, unhinge. Just bring the torso up. Arms above the head. Good. Exhale, take it to the heart. And we're going to do one more just like that. Inhale, bring it up, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Let that head drop. Weight is even in the feet. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Let that head drop. Stay in this forward fold for a moment. See if you can look towards your belly button. You'll feel a deepening of the stretch in the back. These muscles that go down the side of the spine, extensor muscles, those are going to get a nice stretch. And they're chronically tight on a lot of people. Good. Reverse swan dive. Bring it all the way back up. Inhale, arms above the head. I like to call it rise and shine. Exhale, take it to the heart. Beautiful. Inhale, reach the arms up. Bend the left elbow. Touch your scapula, your shoulder blade. Take your right hand, tricep stretch. You're going to pull that elbow in and back. Good. If you want a little bit more, press the feet down a lot. And I mean, it's like an inch or two. It's not far. You're just going to lean over to the right a little bit. Keep pulling that left elbow back. Good. If you did that, come back to center. Everybody reach the arms up. Bend the right elbow. Touch your shoulder blade. Good. Take the left hand, pull that right elbow, roll it in towards the face, then pull it back. So you're trying to get that rotation, that internal rotation of the shoulder. Good. If you want to lean over to the left just a little bit, you can. Again, it's not a big movement, but both feet press down a lot. That protects that SI joint that we worked on earlier. And bring it all the way back up. Inhale, reach those arms up nice and high. Good. Exhale, take the hands to the hips. Step back with your left foot. Come into warrior one. The right knee forward and bent. Good. Make sure you can see that right big toe. Keep your hands on your hips. If you want a little more, reach the arms up into the air, right? If you want something kind of in between, you can do that T, right? Kind of referencing that a lot today. So if you're doing that T, just make sure those shoulders are down. Even if your arms are up in the air, make sure the shoulders are down. They like to hunch up towards the ears. Beautiful. Remember, if that front leg is getting tired, you're pushing through the left leg. Push that left leg back. Make it just as strong as the front leg. Good. Wherever you are, clasp your hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders back. Open the chest. Proud chest. Right? Think of squeezing the shoulder blades not only in towards the spine, but pushing them forward. Like that. The plate of the wall switches for the lights. How that plate just goes right onto the wall. Think of that with the shoulder blades. Press them forward. Maybe you look up. That changes your balance a lot. Good. Release that hold. Take your hands to your hips. Bring it forward. Bring your feet about as wide as your mat. Toes are going to point forward. As you exhale, round the back, come into a forward fold here. And just grab your elbows and sway a little side to side. Bring yourself back to the center. Look up towards the belly button. So you're rounding the back a little bit. Let your hands drop. Take a sigh. Awesome. Roll yourself all the way back up. Think one vertebra at a time. Call it ragdoll. Legs nice and strong. Take your time getting up. Good. Once you're up, take those feet back to hip distance apart. Of course, we've got to do that little warrior on the other side. So hands come to your hips. Step back this time with the right foot. Warrior one. Good. Left knee's bent. Make sure you can see that left big toe. Super important. And then hands can stay on the hips. Maybe your arms or shoulders are getting tired. Just keep them here. Right? You can do that T. You can reach the arms up. Good, but do pay attention, even if the arms are up, right? So we have to lift our shoulders up a little bit to get that action of the arms lifting. But you want to think of space like right here in the traps. So but the area between your neck and your shoulders, try to soften that space. It's a tiny movement, but you try to soften it and just let it drop a little bit. And then press through the right leg. I think this left leg's going to get tired if you don't engage the right leg too. Awesome. Clasp the hands behind the back. Maybe take the alternate clasp. So the different pointer fingers on top. It feels super weird. It should. Good. Roll the shoulders back, chest open. Think of, kind of stumbled on my words a little bit because I don't really know exactly what it's called, but I called it the wall plate of the light sockets, but you know what I'm talking about. This thing, right? You know how it's nice and flush against the wall. You're going to do that with the shoulder blades. Let the shoulder blades push forward against the rib cage. Beautiful. Release that. Put those hands back on the hips. Step it forward again. Good. And then bring your feet this time wide, like much wider than your mat. So a lot of times when I teach this, I have you, for safety purposes, go sideways on your mat so that your feet are on the sticky mat. So we're going to come into a nice wide leg forward fold. I want to get a twist in for you guys too. So toes are pointing forward. Take your hands on your hips. Just lean forward. When you come to that flat back, place your hands on the floor. So if your hands don't get to the floor, right, put them on an ottoman or a coffee table or, anything that can maybe bring the floor a little closer to you. Beautiful. Right hand stays on the floor. left arm, right? We'll do this in progression. So you can take your left hand to your hip. You can press your right hand down and start to open your chest to the left, right? Left shoulder back. Right hand pushes down, or maybe you lift your left arm up to the ceiling, coming to a nice full twist. Beautiful. Left hand's going to bring it on down. And then you're just going to do that on the other side. So left hand like underneath your chest on the floor, right hand to the hip. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you push that left hand down. You start to open your chest. Right shoulder goes up and back. Or maybe you come into a deeper twist and reach that right arm up to the ceiling. So left hand's pushing down regardless of where you are. Beautiful. Bring it back to center. And we are going to come down to the floor. So if it's easy for you to just bend your knees and bring yourself to the floor from this position, do that. If it's easier for you to stand up and then come down, you can do that. So however you get there, the best. You'll come on down. Good. And then you're going to sit. And we're just going to slowly make our way back onto our backs. All right. So it's a little bit of ab work. You can hold on to the back of your thighs, right? And I just want you to really slowly kind of bring yourself all the way down. If you don't want to hold on to the thighs, you want to make it harder, you can reach your arms out in front of you so you're not using that, right? But you're just going to see how slow can I get myself down there, all the way down into a Shavasana. Remember, you can keep your knees bent in Shavasana if it feels better. You can straighten your legs. You can support your knees. You do you. And I always also like to give that permission. If there's some other position that you want to do before we end the practice, then by all means do that position at this time. But in this Shavasana, as you're resting, I want you to pay attention, of course, to your breathing and again, where that breath is flowing for you. So, is it in the lower ribs, the middle ribs, the upper ribs? Is it in the front of the body, the side of the body, the back of the body? And just notice for you where your breath is moving. And if it's in the front body, the back body, see if now with intention you can start to open up the rib cage and expand the breath into the parts that it's not really flowing. So if you found that your chest was moving easily, can you try to bring that breath down further or vice versa? I can, if I give myself the permission to generalize for a moment here, for most of us, our breath's in the front body, not so much in the back body. Okay. So also see if you can bring the breath, expand it more circular so it touches the back ribs. You can think of breathing into the shoulder blades, into the back of the waist.
Also, pay attention to the pelvic floor, which is very connected to the diaphragm, which is the muscle we use to breathe. So let the diaphragm, the pelvic floor get involved with the breath as you inhale. That diaphragm drops away from the rib cage, it drops into the abdomen. Maybe you can envision that happening, and your pelvic floor needs to relax. It's a relaxation and an opening of the muscles in the pelvic floor. Now to focus on the exhalation as well. As you exhale, you're going to squeeze the pelvic floor. It's like a Kegel, okay? The whole bottom of the pelvis, not just one part. You're squeezing that. You draw the abdominals in. You take the muscles in between the ribs, the intercostals. You draw them in. It's somewhat forceful. It feels very contracted. Okay, you do that, squeeze all the breath out. Then, when you're ready to inhale, relax everything you just squeezed. Right? From the intercostals to the abdominals, let the belly just hang out and relax. Let the pelvic floor open and expand. And it's this yin and yang, this big contrast between being open and relaxed and being contracted and, and releasing through pressure. And just do that a few more times, kind of at your own pace. Like I said before, we all breathe at different paces, so it's hard for me to tell you inhale now, exhale now. I don't really believe in that. So again, as you're exhaling, think of doing it from the bottom up. Squeeze the pelvic floor, draw the abdominals in, draw the rib cage in through those intercostal muscles, which go right all the way around the front of the ribs, side of the ribs, back of the ribs. Squeeze it in. And when you inhale, let it all relax. And a lot of times when you do this type of breathing and you incorporate that squeezing in, we've done this before a lot as well last year in a different way. But when you squeeze in and you push all that air out, when you relax on the inhale, it's like a vacuum. You get a deeper breath. There's more spaces that open up almost as a rebound effect to that pushing out of the carbon dioxide, to that pushing out of the toxins through the breath, through the air. And our exhalation is all about that. It's all about releasing what is not good for us physically, right? With these gases that accumulate in the body, we let go of it through the breath. It's also an opportunity for us to release from the heart, from the mind, what is not good for us. So just keeping that in mind. And I'm going to end with having you for 1 minute count how many breaths that you're taking in this pattern, in this technique that you're using with this deeper inhale, squeezing of the exhale, getting the diaphragm involved, getting the pelvic floor involved. So go ahead and begin now, counting just how many breaths you're taking in this minute span of time. and stop counting at this point. So you can let that breath technique go if you like. It is my time to sign off. If you'd like to continue to rest and lay, please do so. When you do come back, you just roll to your side after making some gentle movements and continue with your day. I hope you have a wonderful day, a lovely day. Maybe listen to the Bill Withers song, Lovely Day. It's a good one. And much love, much peace. Peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, peaceful intentions. I love you guys. Mwah.